am I here with?
Dom. My name is Dom.
Ollie, I'm Ollie, yeah.
Tommy, my name's Tommy.
I'm Austin.
Jeff.
How do you feel about the election results last night?
Oh, it's exciting. I'm excited about it, but I'm also like, not cynical, but I'm hesitant to celebrate. Kind of like I was all for it. I voted for him. I'm so down with it, but I feel like you gotta be cynical still. Like,
I was really happy. This has been a long time coming. I've been following Zohran's campaign ever since he was not even included in the polls, and just seeing him gain so much support from the city as a young, Muslim socialist has just been incredible.
Thrilled.
Pretty excited. I think it was pretty expected on my end, but I'm really happy. I think it was one of the reasons. I think it's a big reason to be excited about living in New York.
Assuming that you did vote for Zohran yesterday, why?
I am always a fan of policies that will help more people access the things that they need. So things like food, water, and shelter should never be out of people's price range. People should be able to live here in the city and have access to the jobs that they need and education that they need. And childcare should never be a burden. Transportation should never be a burden on people. And I really like that Zohran is standing up for working class New Yorkers and just really fighting to make sure that kind of stuff is accessible to everybody.
Because I think that he represents something bigger than just, the right mayor for New Yorkers right now facing an affordability crisis. I think he is going to be the blueprint, or hopefully should be the blueprint, of what is to come in the Democratic Party. And I think that if I didn't make my voice heard and that is what I want in politics in this country moving forward, then it would have been a shame.
Mainly for change. I couldn't see myself voting for Cuomo due to his laundry list of assault allegations, but mainly for change and on his economic policies. Yeah.
I'm not one to really glorify politicians, but I think regardless of your political stance, and I'm definitely more left-leaning, I think seeing a young person in politics is really reassuring. I think that's a change of pace, and I think it's just really good to have pluralism, a lot of diversity of thought, and so I'm a big fan of democratic socialism politically.
he really gets it. He really sees how the fabric of the city works, and I don't think there's any politicians that have really trying to get under the skin like that as mayoral candidates in New York City. I've never seen it.
What do you think this victory, Zohran's victory last night, means for the future of New York City and the Democratic Party more broadly?
Especially the Democratic Party, I think it sends a message that we don't want you old motherfuckers in office anymore. We don't like you. You don't represent our beliefs. We want younger people who align with our ideals and our morals, not some corporate shill that's just there to get a paycheck.
Only time will tell. I hope that this really sends a message out to the Democratic establishment that people do like leftist candidates. They like young people. There can be things that can energize people to get out and vote, and it's not just sticking to the same old, trying to reach over the aisle and sort of reach this middle ground. I think we have to, the Democratic Party has to just form a strong identity, and working class people, the majority of Americans, have to be at the front and center of that campaign.
A move towards the left, more progressive policies is a good thing. I hope that it shakes up the Democratic establishment that the majority of people are either disillusioned with or have grown to hate,
Yeah. I think there's a lot of hope. I think, especially in New York, as a city that has had an unfortunate precedent set regarding their political leaders. And so I think it's a lot of hope. And I think it's a big middle finger to the two-party system. A lot of people in power just did not want Mamdani to win at all. And so I think I don't know. I hope it's not I hope I'm not being tricked. I really like Mamdani. I really like a lot of the stuff he's saying. So I'm really excited to live in New York right now.
Which campaign promises of Zohran have to be fulfilled for, Mamdani'S tenure as a mayor to be considered a success to you?
I've been thinking about this one because in my mind, even though I'm very optimistic about his campaign, I love him as a speaker and I love his ideas, I don't think he's going to be able to do all of that in 1 or 2 or however many terms he gets as mayor, because it's a very ambitious agenda. But I think that if he even does one of the things that he does, I think probably one of the biggest things will be universal child care. I think that's a huge thing because having a kid should not be a burden on new parents or on anyone really, and I think that will probably be huge if it's passed. I don't know if that's in his power. What I do know is in his power is his ability to freeze the rent, which if that happens, when that happens, I think it'll be huge because rent is a huge load on everyone's finances here in New York City. I mean, this is like the most expensive city in the world, and I think with something so easily in his control that can help so many people, I think it'll be just straight out of the bat, it'll be a huge win for Zohran and for New York City.
The 2% tax increase on people making above $1 million in New York City, at the very least, even if the buses are slow as shit still, they gotta be free. And those 5 city-run grocery stores, 1 per borough. If those are not opened, I think that his campaign has been one of false promises.
Majority of his policies around the cost of living, rent freeze, working to lower the price of groceries. A lot of people, including my family that, I grew up here, they immigrated here, are struggling, being priced out of the city. Being able to oppose Trump and his reign over the country, at the very least have somebody to look to,
Several high-ranking Democrats like Chuck Schumer, Cory Booker, and Barack Obama failed to publicly endorse Zohran Mamdani. Why do you think that is?
It really has to do with the direction that the Democratic establishment has moved forward to. They are very comfortable in the status quo, and Mamdani actively challenges the status quo.
One thing I do think Obama did endorse, I can't remember, but I think the reason why is because at the end of the day, they are conservatives. Maybe not American conservatives, but on the global political spectrum, they are conservatives. And they are going to sell out to the highest bidder every single time, whether it's AIPAC, whether it's oil, whether it's the automotive industry. And he represented something that they couldn't be, which was a candidate that ran a massive grassroots campaign with, 90,000 volunteers that knocked on 3 million doors by election night. And he did it without taking any money from AIPAC. That's a threat to their very existence because he disrupts the status quo that is their political career.
The American left is very much on the right. I like history, I like philosophy a lot, but I look at the 60s with the New Left and how that was just completely thwarted, and then Nixon, and then in the 90s, and then we had a lineage of Republican presidents. So I think this is, some hope for the New Left, but fuck Obama, fuck American Democrats, they're all pieces of shit. Obviously they don't like Mamdani, he has, at least some morals, so.
The bubblejacketassassin YouTube channel is powered by viewers like you. Support the channel for free by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It really helps our videos reach new audiences. Thank you.